Hello everybody and welcome to the Moto Mill. Today we've got my chicken coop Capra. Yep, I dragged this bike right on out of a chicken coop. It was a little smelly for the first few days and I really haven't done too much to it yet. This bike is basically a 1972 Montesa Capra 250 MX. This is 63M. This is a matching numbers machine. This one is one of the higher up in the numbers units. That's why I say it's probably a 1972. But these bikes were really neat. Slightly different than the earlier Capras and later Capras as well. Up front here, you'll notice that it's got a old school Goodyear Eagle on it that needs to be replaced. It's got a beautiful shoulder to front wheel, stainless steel spokes. And just look at these forks. These forks are a work of art. As well as the hub. The hub is just absolutely gorgeous. Everything's still very dirty on this machine, but all of that aluminum work is just so pretty to me. Same thing, you come up here and you start looking at these billet triple trees that this machine had. And they were just so fantastic. These are the same ones they would use on the later VRs. Fiberglass gas tank, that gray color. These bikes got the nickname the Gray Ghost. This is the stock pipe on it. Strange for Montesa to use an up pipe. These are really rather ugly and got some bad reviews. I'm still gonna have to put mine back in the cylinder here. Basically what I found with this machine, since I haven't done too much with it, I inspected the bore. I took the head off and everything, looked at all of that, checked the oil on it, and all of that stuff was really beautiful. The whole motor seems to be in good shape. I've got to do something. I got with the ignition. I have no spark, so I'm going to swap some coils around on it, see what we can do there, and try to get this thing fired up in the next day or so. Aluminum rear fender. Somebody painted or primed it at one point in time. Pretty neat. Probably will paint the front one to match, even though it's plastic. I'll probably use some fake chrome on it or fake aluminum looking paint so that it looks like it matches, because as cool as the aluminum fenders are, you know, they do take some damage, so it's tough to really live with them. Now in the back here, they're still rather rusty, but it looks like the shafts might not be too bad. Those are those black body Coney's, early Coney motocross shocks, really neat. And just look at all these neat stuff going on back here for the sprocket. Looks like I got a little whammo in the rim. Same thing, it's got an Acront on the back with some stainless steel spokes. Foot pegs left a lot to be desired, and so did the shifters. These bikes are known for kicking back. They can get you pretty good. This one had a little different porting than the earlier machines. Now, I don't know what they had going on with the carb here, because it looks like it's still got old lines attached to it that have that like original rubber petcock on it, but yet it's also all been changed. So I have to play with it just a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on there. Now, this bike's really a lot different than earlier and later Montesas, like I was saying before, because this machine really is actually pretty inspired by Husqvarna. Now, before you guys get after me for saying that, I did not see that either in it for a while until I was talking to a big Montesa collector. And they basically said that, at least if you look at the frame design, they really copied more with the Husky. These bikes originally had a big air bell shaped air box too, where that number plate is. They're using a big high pipe on the other side, which all of those things are vastly different for what Montesa was doing before and after with their low slung pipes and fiberglass air boxes. I think the big difference was that made it to where this machine still just wasn't quite as competitive is the same thing that plagued a lot of the Japanese bikes at the time, was the weight. I mean, the fit and finish of this machine was excellent, but just a tad bit too heavy still. If it's any bit as reliable as some of my earlier Montesas, like my Lacrosse and things like that, though, it'll be an excellent machine. I've really got a soft spot for the Montesas. They're probably some of my favorites. I was shocked to see that I hadn't done a video on any of these yet for you here, so I figured I'd start it off with this one. A lot of the current Montesas I have are in shambles, but if you guys subscribe to this page and keep watching, you'll see a bunch of videos on some of the GPs too. I've got a couple GP 250s and 2 GP 360s. Lacrosse, Diablo, bunch of good Montesas. Same thing, I know this bike was originally supposed to have green number plates, but I like the green on a lot of bikes, especially the Huskies and the CZs, but something about this bike, it was just going to look horrendous. I've also got a 18M that those ones use the yellow stock since it's 125, and I really just wanted this bike to be kind of a matching pair to that one. Now, we talked about this high pipe before. A lot of the riders over in Europe weren't very happy with it, so there was actually a kit you could get at the time, the Olencia kit. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly for you guys, but he was one of those riders over there, and he wanted the downpipe on it, and so in fact, some people were able to get them like that. I think they even sold the Olencia kit at a bunch of Montesa dealerships. Pretty neat little fact. They also used these pipes on the King Scorpions when they were doing like the Baja editions of them. They'd also put some of these cappra cylinders on to make those King Scorpions pretty hot. Had a really nice enduro machine. But yeah, you'll notice this bike shifts on the right and it brakes on the left. And you get a better look at this frame over here. The one thing you can't say about these is that they're weak. They're definitely very strong machines. They make really good power motor-wise, and everything's overbuilt on them. Just look at the size of all the hardware on it. I mean, everything about it just looks so sturdy. I had to do a seat cover and a seat foam at some point in time. I'm not exactly sure how they do it, but the Montesas, the foam turns into concrete. I've seen that also with a couple other Spanish bikes from the time period. When I got this bike, it also came with a Boltaco Montadero, another one of those cool open classers. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, we're going to do more content on this machine as we get it cleaned up in the future. This is just a little preview. Just please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thank you, everybody.